Preserving, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood offers top-notch pressure-treated wood for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. When it comes to quality, we're on the winning team. Visit your local Everwood dealer today and discover the difference for yourself. Everwood Preserving Incorporated, the official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Join us this afternoon for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Everwood. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown and amuse you?
You're tired. Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, but nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Top 10 Tuesday in the Doghouse. I am your host, Thom Abraham. It is a busy Tuesday in the sports world and, of course, in our country as we go to the polls to vote for either Donald Trump or against Donald Trump. I mean, that's really the choice today, right? I mean, let's be honest. Come on. Let's be honest. Can we at least be honest about that? All we do is lie to each other. I mean, can we at least be honest about that? No one is voting for Harris. No one voted for her in a primary. No one's voting for her today. You're voting for Trump or no Trump. That's exactly what you're going to the polls to vote for. So today is also the trade deadline in the NFL. The Lions have picked up Zadarius Smith from the Browns to shore up their pass rush. Smith is 32 years old, has 5 sacks on the season, and is a very solid pickup for Detroit. He has been good with the Browns, the Ravens, and the Packers in the past. Cleveland got a 5th and a 6th for him. They sent him and a 7th to the Lions for that. It doesn't sound like much for Zadarius Smith, but he's 32 years old in the last year of his contract. So basically, the Browns only had him for another half a season anyway. So, getting a 5th and a 6th, that's where you build your team. And and for the Lions, having to replace Aiden Hutchinson with a cast of players, Zadarius Smith, he should be energized knowing that he's on a team that could possibly be a Super Bowl type team. And so that's a good pickup for the Lions. Baseball free agency is open. Moves are happening there. And of course, the first college football poll will be revealed tonight. And although there is a ton of meat left on the bone, this one will kind of set the narrative on how the committee views these teams, the conferences, and the strength of schedules. So today's top 10 will be my prediction of how the top 15 will look tonight. I didn't go all the way to 25, but I did top 15 because I think those are the teams that are in contention to make it to the playoffs. Now, these are not necessarily my rankings, but this is the way that I think the committee will rank the teams tonight. I think this is the way it's going to come out tonight, and then we'll compare it tomorrow, and we'll see how many I hit on a bullseye and how many I was totally wrong on. But I've got an idea, in my opinion, what I think that there is going to do. Now, the part to remember is that this is not a bracket reveal. This is a poll reveal. Now, you will be able to make some assumptions about how the bracket would look if this was the final poll. And so we'll play with that a little bit because that's fun. But remember, there are automatic bids for the top 5 conference champions. And the 4 highest conference champs, not the 4 Power 4 conference champs, the 4, it likely will end up that way, but the top 4 highest ranked conference champs will get the buys. And that's it, regardless of what the poll says. So for example, and they get that first, and you got to be a conference champ to get that first round bye. Okay? So if the committee, say, puts 2 Big Ten teams or 2 SEC teams in the top 4, that doesn't mean that both those 2 SEC teams or those 2 Big Ten teams are in the top 4. All that means is they're putting them in the top 4. But at the end of the day, when they start picking them, they're only going to pick 1 from the SEC to be a bye and 1 from the Big Ten to be a bye. You're not going to have 2 SEC teams or 2 Big Ten teams have a bye. It's not going to work out that way. Okay? So if they took 2 from the 10 or they took 2 from the SEC, only 1 would get the bye, and the other one would be a 5 or a 6 seed. And that 5th conference champ could be anything from a 5 seed to a 12th seed. If that 5th conference champ, I mean, this year it looks like there's a good team in Boise State that most likely will win the Mountain West, that will be high enough in the top 15, top 10, maybe even, that is going to be legit to be in this playoff. There will be years under this system, it could have been nobody from a group of 5 conference in the top 25. But yet one of their champions, the 5th highest ranked conference champ, gets to go to the playoff. Now you're going to end up the 12th seed if it happens that way. All right, we welcome those of you watching on WZZN TV, our YouTube channel, and on X as well. Check that out if you haven't yet. As well as our listeners on 97.7 ESPN, the app, and those listening over the air in Winchester, Tennessee, and ESPN Winchester. Your lines are open to everyone at 256-576-4977. You can text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. It's a great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The Zone is on X at 97.7 ESPN. And go ahead and follow at ESPN Winchester. And speaking of apps, go ahead and snag not only the Zone app, but get that Talk Radio WZZN app for more great programming, including that 8-0 Army team that has not trailed for a moment all season long. You'll also find a lot of UAH there whenever there's spillage from the Zone. For example, on Friday afternoon, UAH playing basketball at 1 o'clock while we're doing Football Friday. UAH will be over there on Talk Radio 97.7-2 on your digital dial or on the 97.7 or the Talk Radio 97.7 or the Talk Radio WZZN app. I'm distracted today. I'm highly distracted today. By the way, get the new ESPN Winchester app as well for more great content. Friday Night Football playoff action begins on the air with Buckhorn at Oxford. John Boy, Dewey Magoo, and I will be down there. Madison Academy is at Hoax Bluff on Zone 2. Randolph has Anniston on Zone 3. Westminster is at Cherokee County on Zone 5. Huntland is at McEwen on the air on ESPN Winchester. And don't forget about your Big Zone deals. Find the link at 977ESPN.com and chow down or play some great golf for half price right now. And this is a great time to do a little holiday shopping as well. Grab your, these are perfect in the stocking under the tree. Tremendous. Think about it. For 25 bones a piece, you can buy all these restaurants for all the stocking stuffers you got to do. Maybe those people that you do at work, you do the dirty Santa at work or whatever they call it, or Secret Santa, or you got to do something for the boss. You give them, you know, think about how good you're going to look when you buy the boss of $50 worth of Corjalejos or Bad Daddy's Burgers or whatever. And the boss is going like, yo, give me a $50. The dirty little secret is you paid 25 bones for it. So 25 bones, you touch your boss up with $50 worth of Corjalejos. Maybe he's a golfer, and you want to get him Cherokee Ridge or Gunther's Landing. It's mind-boggling. And you people in Franklin County that are listening up there, you need to jump on these deals as well. Coming up in a few minutes, Thom Luginbill from ESPN will join us with his thoughts on how this first poll might look. And then at the top of the one, Bama beat writer Kennington Lloyd Smith of The Athletic will be in with his thoughts on the Tide and Tigers, LSU style, Got to be careful when you say Tigers in the SEC. There's like 9 of them. The Tide and the LSU Bengal Tigers coming up on Saturday night in Baton. The Chiefs got to 8-0 again last night. And again, they do it in ho-hum fashion. They don't blow anyone out. They just win football games. They just win them at winning time. That's what you get with Patrick Mahomes. Just go out there and win a game. I mean, the Bucs were sporty. They were down their top 3 receivers. Baker Mayfield playing his butt off. But when they scored at 47 seconds to go in the game, they missed a great chance to win that game right there with a 2-point conversion. And Todd Bowles acted incredulous afterwards in the press conference when asked about why they didn't go for 2. I wish I had the audio. He was so smug about it. Like, no, we're going to take our chances in overtime. Why? You be from the 3-yard line, have a chance to win the game. Why? You're going to take your chances in overtime, which against Kansas City means that you're taking your chances on a coin flip. Because if 15 gets his hands on the ball, you will never touch it. You will never see the ball again. I still think that overtime rule needs to be changed. Both teams should have a chance with the ball in today's game that favors offense so much. Not the college rule. The college rule is terrible. I hate college overtime. You put the ball down in a place where the team, who knows if they could get there or not. You kick off. You should have to kick off like you do in the NFL. The other team gets the ball. And then if you stone them, you get the ball. If they score, they got to kick off to you and defend. That's the way it should be. That's the way it is in the playoffs. Well, I have a different rule for the playoffs. All right, playing the play doesn't matter, and stacks of wax, and man, and some foam, man, and keep it. Not jumping Joe Hunk because he's voting. He's probably going to miss the entire show. He's going to be standing in line in Hazel Green trying to vote. If you see a goofy-looking guy with a mohawk standing in line in Hazel Green, I want you to walk up to Joe Hunk and say, "What the hell? Why aren't you doing the Thom Abraham show?" Sorry, we got Captain Cool.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together on a spit and polish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Give me back my son!
I don't like violence, Thom. I'm a businessman.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
You ain't first, you're last. He's got Abraham down.
What a catch!
What a catch! A leaping catch at the 45-yard lines, and he brings it in.
Hey, boy, how you doing over there, man?
I'm doing fine. It's good to be back on the show.
Yeah.
On such an eventful day. So
Partying like it's August.
Yeah.
Remember way back in the day, back in July and August when you used to do show?
Yeah, and it's just as warm now. And I made the mistake of wearing a little bit of a hoodie, and honestly, I'm
good?
sweating like a pig on the other side of the glass.
Oh, you're good? That looks good. I don't get to see you very much anymore. I mean, I see you on Tuesday at the staff meeting. I do appreciate that you have taken dog left position at the meeting. You moved. You used to be 2 down on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And now you took dog left-hand dog. I appreciate that you took that spot.
Yeah, it's so you can hear my mumbles that I throw your way.
Right here, all I hear is everybody's computer keyboards going because it's all you guys do.
We can't stop working. We got to keep going. That's just how it is in this biz.
They're trying to figure out something so you can tell me something good in the meeting.
Nah, that's not true. I got to get the thumbnails figured out.
I'm going to make everybody close their computers when we do, except for we do stuff on the computer.
Exactly. You want us to look at the calendar? I mean, how are we going to do that? You want us to
but
get
you're sitting there
tablets?
looking at who you've sent proposals to, and Steve's sitting there and he's looking at who needs to get commercials or whatnot, and what has to get changed there on that, and Scott's sitting there looking at the calendar and looking how to change things, and Bailey is sitting there watching cartoons.
Well, I got a way to figure this out. All right, how about you put your money together and buy us
my money together,
just a bunch of what are they called, agendas, all right, and then we can just be on our agendas, calendar.
What do you mean? We have calendars on our computers.
Yeah, but you don't want us to be on the computer.
Well, you can if you're looking at your agenda. I have an agenda on my computer. I see it says staff meeting notes, and I got through all except for one today.
Well, you don't know what we're looking at. We're not all on Twitter. I'm looking at you, Bandy. I'm just.
So you're gonna You gonna vote after the show or what?
I don't know if I'm able to vote in the state of Alabama, so I'd have to
Are
go.
you
up to
still
Winchester
registered in the
for it.
Wincha-Cha?
I have a Tennessee driver's license, and
You
I
still have a Tennessee driver's license?
yeah, haven't updated that yet. But
That's only good for like 30 days after you leave the state.
well, I haven't been stopped by any police officers yet, so I think I'm
They're
fine
listening
right now.
They're going to be looking for you.
They don't know what car I'm going to drive tomorrow.
So you're going to come up to Winchester and vote? We could use your vote in Tennessee.
I wish I could just give you like my card, and then you could go up there and say, "Hey,
Can I vote for you?
I would be.
I want to go up and vote for you.
You already know who I want.
Yeah, we don't need you in Tennessee. Tennessee will be redder than the back of my neck.
That's good because I can focus on other work that's gonna at least get me some money, hopefully.
As long as you don't let your girlfriend vote. We don't need her vote.
I think she also needs to go up to Tennessee. The same goes for my roommate John. So,
John, we could use John's vote. Roll Tide. We could use your vote. We don't.
He's a Tennessee fan.
We don't. Yeah, but when it comes to voting, he'd be voting red. He'd be voting Roll Tide.
Yeah, probably.
Don't you think?
No, most definitely.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think he's going to spend time.
That lefty girlfriend of yours is what you'd have to worry about.
I don't think he's going to take time out of his schedule of looking at ghost hunting videos and golfing.
He's working. He's the assistant pro at Cherokee Ridge.
To go and vote for any type of president. So, yeah, that's kind of my point. I think that he would let the ghosts vote before he votes.
All right, let's get a break in here. Phone lines are open. If you want to jump on board, you can do it. 256-576-4977 where we return. If you are not on the lines and talking about what you want to talk about, I will break down the way I think that this thing is going to come out tonight. And I'm not talking about the election. I'm talking about the college football playoff poll, what this first iteration is going to look like. We'll do that next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Alabama knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
One of those breakfast burritos that Steve brought to the meeting from Shaggy's?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
No doubt.
Those were great.
Loaded with bacon.
Oh, my. I had the ham one. Well, I had the bacon one before the meeting, and then I had the ham one for lunch after the meeting. But
you're still fighting with it afterwards.
I am. Usually I always have a toothpick in my briefcase. Those of you who were watching maybe saw me sticking a pen in my mouth to try and I got this one spot in between two teeth that always seems to I get hung up in.
That's all right. My first bite out of that burrito got stuck in the middle teeth, and that was right before the meeting start. Ooh, it was a little challenge for me as I was listening to you talk.
And I floss like crazy, and I still have a little bit in there, and it's bothering me now. Oh, I have toothpicks in my truck downstairs.
Oh yeah, you want me to go and get those right now?
No, not right now. Wait till the commercial break, and then you can go get one. They got the white ones with the little floss thing on the end.
Those things are clutch. Those are very good.
I got them right in the middle of the deal there. All right, give me a little Tuesday top 10 music over there. You got the Tuesday top 10 over there? Give me that. Let me hear Shane and the Moneymakers.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the Tuesday top 10.
So this is the way I think it will come out. This is not the way I think it should come out necessarily, but this is the way I think it's going to come out. I think they're going to put the committee tonight, when they come out with the poll, I think that they're going to have Oregon number 1. All right. I think Oregon will be 1. I think Georgia will be 2. I think Ohio State will be 3. Texas will be 4. And now this is where it gets tricky at 5. I think it gets a little tricky at 5. I think they're going to put Miami here. It wouldn't surprise me if they are a little bit lower, Miami, but I think they're going to put Miami here, who has not played a ranked team all year and will not play a ranked team all year until they get to the ACC championship game, most likely. At number 6, I think they will put Tennessee. At number 7, Penn State. And at 8, okay, haters, I'm just going to tell it to you right now. I know they're number 10 or 11. Is Alabama number 11 now in the polls?
Yeah.
I think they're number 11 in the polls. Look out for, I'm going to tell you right now, my prediction for Alabama is they're going to be 8 tonight. I think there's going to be respect for the fact that they're 3-1 against top 30, and they got the most difficult schedule of all of these teams I mentioned. They got the number 3 most difficult schedule in the country right now. I think Alabama will be in the 8 hole. I think Notre Dame is 9. I think Indiana is 10. At 11, are you ready for this? At 11, I think you're going to see Ole Miss, which is about 4 spots higher than they are. And I think you watch. I think you'll see Ole Miss.
I want to believe in Ole Miss a little bit more than I do because their offense is just so powerful. And Jackson Dart he's an absolute stud. But I look at that team and their defense just cannot.
Do you know where Ole Miss is in the FPI?
I do not.
6.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you know where Ole Miss is in the Sagarin ratings?
No.
6.
Jeez.
6.
Malachi Nelson, I think that's the second string quarterback for that Arkansas team, was able to help put like 31 on their defense. It's a good offense. It's a great team, but I still think they'd fall off.
Yeah. I think it'll be 11. I think they're 15 in the country. I think they'll be 11. Number 12, I think will be BYU. I think at number 13, you're going to find LSU. I think you'll find LSU there at 13. I mean, LSU could use USC to win a game once in a while because that loss there looks terrible. But I still think you'll find them at 13. What also looks terrible is that Texas A&M got their knobs whaled by South Carolina after beating LSU. I think at 14 is where you'll find Boise State. What's Boise State in the?
They are 12th.
They're 12. I think they're going to be 14. I said BYU at 11. No, I said BYU at 12. BYU is number 9 in the AP, and in the coaches. I think you're going to find BYU at 12. I think BYU and Boise State are going to be further down than you think. And I think at number 15, you're going to see SMU. I think Southern Methodist is going to be in that 15 spot.
I like that team going into the season. Then they took that tough loss, and they've been rolling ever since.
Yeah. I think that's the way it's going to shake out. Now, later I'll share with you what that means to the bracket. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to put them in a bracket, then you got to put Boise. Boise State's the highest ranked team champion from they're the 5th conference champion. They're 14th. And I put them at 14, but they would be a 12 seed in this thing. And what I was talking about before, Texas and Ohio State, I think Ohio State's going to be 3 and Texas 4. But Texas and Ohio State, when you then make up the bracket, will be dropped to 5 and 6 hosting games. And Miami would jump up to 3 as the ACC champ. That's the nature of the way this thing is going to work out. Because the top 4 are all going to be conference champions.
We're going to see BYU win the Big 12?
BYU is going to win the Big 12. And BYU, I think, is going to end up being, they'll win the Big 12. But I think that after they win the Big 12, BYU is going to end up, at Texas. Because I think BYU will end up being a, lower seed.
That's a rest in peace type of game right there. What about Indiana? They still have to play Ohio State to end off the season.
Yeah, I am at 10. They got to play Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan next week. Ohio State, right. I think a week before.
The week after.
Well, the week before the final game of the season.
Yeah, they go Michigan, bye, and then Ohio State. Yeah, I think Indiana could fall off of this. But I think right now in this iteration, they'll be around 10. Where are they in the poll? 8.
Yeah.
They're 8 in the poll. Indiana's strength of schedule right now, 81. The strength of schedule is 81, and they're in the Sagarin, they're 12. 12.
It's a bottom-heavy schedule.
Yeah, it's a backdoor heavy schedule. All right, we got a break. When we come back, Thom Luginbill will join us next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This action update is brought to you by GBank. Earn cashback rewards on every eligible gaming transaction. VSiN.com/GBank.
The men's college basketball season is underway. Heading into the season, Ohio State's the favorite to win the national title at plus 325, Georgia plus 400. Same for Oregon, Texas at plus 500, Miami plus 1,200, the Alabama Crimson Tide plus 1,800, Tennessee plus 2,000, Penn State plus 2,200. Monday Night Football in overtime, the Chiefs outlasted the Buccaneers. 30-24 the final in overtime. Kansas City's 8-0. They remain the clear favorite to win their 3rd straight Super Bowl, plus 375 with Detroit plus 450 right behind them. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Thom Luginbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Next time you're online looking for landscaping inspiration, open Instagram and check out Southern Gent Landscaping. They can help make your yard your dream outdoor oasis. Southern Gent Landscaping can handle it all, from landscape maintenance and installation to irrigation and hardscapes, even AstroTurf. Turn your yard into a landscape you'll be proud to show off. Call Southern Gent Landscaping at 256-509-6088. 509-6088. Southern Gent Landscaping. Professional landscaping performed with satisfaction guaranteed.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
In football and in finance, the best offense is a good defense. Neighbors Wealth Management has joined forces with Alliance Group to provide Alabamans with world-class financial service on both sides of the ball. Get the expertise to grow your wealth and protect your assets all under one roof. Give us a call and let's work together to turn your personal financial franchise into a perennial powerhouse. 256-469-2324 or visit us at neighborswealthmanagement.com. That number again is 256-469-2324 or neighborswealthmanagement.com. Attention life insurance owners, do you have a policy with cash value and haven't had a review since you purchased your policy? Did you forget who the agent is? Your policy may be at risk as interest rates have fallen and remain at historical lows. Contact the experts at Neighbors Wealth Management to get a free policy review and know where you stand. Call us at Neighbors Wealth Management, 256-469-2324, or on the web at neighborswealthmanagement.com. That's Neighbors Wealth Management, 256-469-2324, or on the web at neighborswealthmanagement.com.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
Lord, I can't change.
And welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Got to hit me with the Freebird break there. Oops. I just want to listen to the whole song. I mean, it'd take me 10 minutes, right? 5 minutes of vocals, 5 minutes of instrumental, the greatest piece of music ever recorded in the history of mankind.
I remember you told me why that was the case, and it's because he had to go to the bathroom.
Had to go to the bathroom. That's how it all started. That was how the whole thing all started. Had to go to the bathroom and said, guys, just keep playing. They were in a little bar playing, and he said, just keep playing. I got to go to head. And they just keep jamming until they get back. Welcome back. This segment of the show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. Woody Anderson Ford, for all your service needs, whether it's a Ford or otherwise, Woody Anderson Ford has you covered with their award-winning service department. Don't forget the mobile service with Woody Anderson Ford as well, where they'll come out to you and change your oil or do a tire rotation or take care of your windshield wipers or your lights, whatever, stuff like that. And if you're only available on the weekend or the evening, the Quick Lane Service Department is your one-stop shop to service brakes, tires, and batteries. It is Woody Anderson Ford. Do we have an over-under on how long it'll take Joe to get back from voting? I say he doesn't make it back before the end of the show.
Well, where did he have to go? Was it
Hazel Green?
Hazel Green?
But that's not that far. But he won't make it back before the end of the show. You don't go vote at lunchtime.
He didn't just ask me to cover the first hour so he could leave.
Oh, no, he's gone for the whole show. There's
Come on.
no way he gets back.
I didn't try and think too much
No
about
way he
it.
gets back in time. All right, Tom Luginbill joins us now. I'm sure he's probably already voted, but he's on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline. Lugs, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good. I hope everybody's voted. I voted about 3 weeks ago, so I don't know what your boy's doing.
I don't understand that whole thing. You know what I mean? That voting, I thought we had like an election day. Shouldn't we just have election day? But to go vote, people start voting. Like you live in North Carolina, so you were able to just go vote 3 weeks ago. I mean, do you go someplace to do that, or do you have to get a form? How do you vote 3 weeks ago?
No, just walk right in person, and yes, you have to show an ID that you're a citizen.
That's good.
And you walk right in. They have local places, and you cast your vote, and you're all ready to go.
So they actually have polling places that are open a month in advance.
Yeah, most of them are like elementary and middle schools, and then local firehouse.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you could do it that way. They don't have early voting in Alabama, so I mean, we're lucky.
Well, they need to have it.
Luckily, they got voting at all. But I think they just light a fire and whatever color the smoke is, they'll go that way. But that's a whole nother story. Well, I'm glad that you were able to get out there and do that. By the way, I throw this in, and we don't talk much NFL, but you did work in the Dallas Cowboys personnel department back in the days. So they're ready to put Dak Prescott on the IR, which means they got Cooper Rush as a quarterback. They're 3-5. Jalen Daniels and the Washington, whatever you want to call them, Commanders are running around at 6-2 and getting better and better and better. And so Jerry trades a 4th-round draft pick for Jonathan Mingo from the Panthers, who is out of Ole Miss, who's buried on the Panthers depth chart. What's he thinking? I mean, why are you trading a 4th-round pick to get a receiver when your program is on the brink of being totally irrelevant and missing the playoffs?
Listen,
you worked for the man.
Tremendous respect. Yeah, I did. I worked for him. I have tremendous respect for him. Treated me like gold. I will say this: anybody that's worked for him, if you're a worker, you got any type of work ethic, intelligence, like he is a supporter of you. And I will always maintain that as much as I love him, his involvement on the football side of things has been misguided. It's been sometimes uneducated in relationship to why you would do something like this. I mean, for example, all right, so Jonathan Mingo, let's just say he's even a really, really good player. He's a receiver. Like, those guys are standing on every street corner. We can go find a receiver anywhere. So why would you give up a draft choice in a very pivotal round for a guy that can be picked up on the street corner?
Right.
I just don't get it.
To play with Cooper Rush, besides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't even have your quarterback. It's not like you lost a receiver and your quarterback went down. I mean, that's a valuable pick that you would need. And Jerry has said repeatedly that if he wasn't the owner, that he would have fired Jerry Jones, the GM. Well, then why doesn't he, in fairness to the fans and everybody else, fire the GM? And I don't know, his son Stevens. Yeah, well, Steven, yeah, but Jerry's still pulling the trigger on this stuff. But I don't know that Stevens any more qualified as a football guy. They're great businessmen. There's and the daughter as well.
No doubt.
They're fantastic business people that have made that franchise. And really, the whole NFL owes a debt of gratitude to them, as much as everybody hated them when they were firing Tom Landry and everything else. The whole league owes a debt of gratitude to. They're like the Tiger Woods of owners. They made everybody's values go through the roof. But as football people, they should let football people take it. The last football guy that got in there, was Jimmy Johnson. He won some championships, and he stifled everybody else that's come through there, including Bill Parcells.
Well, the one thing that I always point out to people that people are quick to forget, and I get it because time, will lead to lesser of a memory. But when Jimmy Johnson was hired, and then you go past Jimmy and you go to Barry Switzer, remember that Plan B free agency didn't come into effect until 1994. So when you went and you made moves as a head coach, you made moves as a personnel guy, whether it was through the draft, whether it was through trade, whether it was through player development, you returned the bulk of your roster every year intact. Mm-hmm. So if you made good decisions in the draft and you made good decisions in terms of a trade perspective, you were in great shape because you didn't have to worry about losing anybody to free agency. All of the Cowboys' problems started post-1996, if you really want to look at it and peel back the layers.
Yeah, and that's why we're going to have to get some sort of legislation in place at some point in time for college football, because this unlimited free agency is killing. I mean, you don't know. year to year. And I'll be honest with you, as a former coach, I don't know how I would coach these kids. I don't know if who you can coach hard and who you can't. And is the kid going to run home to daddy and say, I want to transfer because Tubby Smith once said at one time, he was at the college and he didn't like the way the coach was treating him. And his father told him, well, you can go join the Army. That's what he told him. He said, I want to transfer. He says, no, you go join the Army if you don't like the way they're coaching you there. I mean, it's.
Can you imagine?
I don't know how you do it.
You told a kid that now?
Yeah.
Oh my God. They stick their lower lip out, they fold their lawn chair, and they'd walk away.
By the way, caller says that Alabama does have early voting. So I got bad intel on that during my staff meeting this morning.
Oh boy,
bad intel. So I guess there is early voting in Alabama. So I guess that's a good thing if you're down with the early voting. All right. So tonight's a momentous night in the history of our country because we find out the first iteration of the college football playoff poll.
Yes, we do.
That's the most important thing of this whole deal. NFL trade deadline and the college football playoff poll coming out, and we got to be careful not to lose our minds. Now, you've gone through this process and you've also followed this process. A lot of people think that some of the stuff that they do is strictly for the drama of it and for the TV show and to create controversy and everything else. I am not that cynical. I like to think that these guys are actually ranking them or rating them the way they think they would be rated right now. What's your take? Do you think that they do stuff just to create stories, or is this legit? This is exactly where we're at right now today.
I don't believe that they do things to create stories. And the reason why is if you do that and it backfires, how do you make changes in the moment's notice of coming up with the final 12 and have it be legitimate?
Yeah.
Have credibility. So I don't believe that because I think that this is a combination, particularly with this first iteration, is you're going to weigh strength of record, strength of schedule, common opponents, where you stand in your conference race, all of those things. And then you have the eye test. And I do think the eye test matters in this first iteration. And I'm going to use a team as an example, and it's Indiana. Indiana has yet to play Michigan and Ohio State. So all of those questions are going to be answered here in the next couple of weeks. All right. And so you're going to look at them, strength of record, strength of schedule, common opponent. You're going to say, all right, I'm not blown away. But have you actually watched Indiana and seen how they're winning their game? They're not just beating people, they're mauling people. And not only have they been doing it each and every week, they did it one week with a freshman quarterback against the University of Washington, and they didn't even look like they missed a beat. So for me, like a team like that, the eye test early on is going to matter for them now, maybe more than it will after we see them against Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah, that number 81 schedule I'm stuck on that a little bit. What I did for my Tuesday top 10 today is I guessed the way I think they're going to rank them. Not the way I would rank them, but this is the way I think that they're going to rank the top 15. I went 15 deep on the Tuesday top 10 because you don't have to have 10 things. It just sounds cool to say Tuesday top 10. I think Indiana, I think there are three teams. I think Indiana, I think BYU, and I think Boise State are all going to be a little lower than where they're at in the human polls. Indiana's right now number 8. I have Indiana pegged at 10. I think they're going to come in with Indiana at 10. I think they're going to put Indiana behind Notre Dame. What do you think? What do you think those guys will do when they look at that schedule and who they played? Because they got every opportunity to move up, but I think they're going to be around 10.
So you've got the Notre Dame, Texas A&M win. You have the Texas A&M win versus LSU, and then you have Texas A&M laying an egg against South Carolina.
Yeah.
All the while, over the past 8 weeks, Northern Illinois has completely floundered into oblivion.
Isn't that something?
And so I don't know how much credence they're going to put towards that as it relates to Notre Dame. I'm actually with you on Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's actually a pretty good football team.
And I got them at 9. Boring. I'm not putting them way up there, but I got them at 9. They have played
they're a good football team.
Yeah. And they're 2-0 against top 30.
Yeah, they're not flashy. They're getting better on offense. Listen, I get it. But that Northern Illinois loss is a really bad loss for them, and I think it will linger in the minds of the committee. But to be honest with you, does it matter right now whether Indiana is 8 or Notre Dame is 8?
No.
Or Indiana is 10
No.
or Notre Dame is 9? It doesn't matter. And all you need to do is be in the mix and then play yourself the rest of the way. That's why the Clemson loss this week for Clemson and Dabo was such a killer.
Yeah.
Because you were in position to control everything in front of you, and all you had to do was get to the first rankings release, and you blew it.
Yeah. Yeah, and for like LSU, and I think LSU is going to be a little higher than where they are in the polls. I think LSU is in the polls at 15 or 16, somewhere like that. I think they're going to be around 13 in this thing. But for LSU, they got to be sitting there saying, come on, USC, are you kidding me? Can you win a football game? You know, and then Texas A&M goes and gets their knobs wailed at South Carolina. I mean, those look bad. Now, again, a lot of this straightens itself out because the Alabama-LSU game is a elimination game. You know, whoever loses that game is done, you know, and, you know, and that's the way it's going to be.
How about Ole Miss and Georgia?
Ole Miss and Georgia is not quite an elimination game because I think Georgia, if Georgia were to lose that game and beat Tennessee, then Georgia ends up 10-2, 6-2 in the league. And I don't think 10-2 Georgia is going to get left out of this playoff.
I don't either.
You know, Ole Miss gets run off.
It is.
Ole Miss gets run off.
Miss is done.
Okay, here's this. And this will make your my next guest, Kennington Lloyd Smith. I already told him that he's responsible for the SEC tiebreakers. Is it possible that Ole Miss as a 2-point dog beats Georgia? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? Is it possible that Georgia turns around and then beats Tennessee at home? Absolutely. Can Alabama beat LSU this weekend? Absolutely. If those things happen, whoever loses the Texas A&M game is 6-2 in the SEC. Ole Miss is 6-2. Georgia is 6-2. Tennessee is 6-2. Alabama is 6-2. And you got to pick one to play against the winner of the Texas A&M game in the SEC championship. And guess what? I don't think any of them want to go. I think every single one of them would say, look, we're 10-2. We're 6-2 in the league. We're 10-2 in the SEC. We'll sit here and let the committee put us in the playoff. We don't need to go to Atlanta and get a third loss.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's
exactly right.
And how are they going to sort out those, you know, potentially six 6-2 teams in the SEC? That's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And I'll tell you, everything you outlined right there is reflective of what we've seen so far this season, and that is everybody has voids. There are vulnerabilities that apply to everybody. And, you know, what we thought was perfect with Texas ended up not being so perfect, right? What we thought was perfect with you know, Penn State, not so perfect. I'll say this, and if we're going to be honest about it, outside of the second half of the Alabama game and portions of the Texas game, how good has Georgia actually played? Because I'm telling you right now, if DJ Lagway doesn't get hurt for Florida, I think they beat Georgia.
Yeah,
and I don't know whose dog Billy Napier kicked on their porch, but nobody deserves to have what's happened to him, because I'll be the first one to stand up and say, Billy Napier's done a good job with that team. That team's had every opportunity to fold his beach chair and go home and to quit. And the last 3 weeks, they've been playing really good football, and they were outplaying Georgia until the quarterback got hurt.
Yeah, they're not liable to finish the season with with a third string quarterback, and we'll see
exactly
what they look like. But yeah, I think he's surviving this. I think he's surviving it. I think that the powers that be are going to let him survive this thing. I think that BYU is going to be a little lower than where they are in the polls. I have them. I think they're going to say 12. I think Boise State is going to be lower. Boise State is 12 in the human polls right now, or I guess they're all human polls. Coaches have them 14. That's where I think they're going to be, is at 14. But they'll still get in as that fifth conference champ, even if that were to end up that way. And then the wild card to all of this is that freaking SMU Mustang team that just obliterated a really good Pitt team and just took them in behind a woodshed. And they're at around 14, 15 in the polls. I got them at 15 tonight. Maybe they'll get a little bit more love than that. I think Miami is going to be a little bit lower than where they have them there. But we are now steamrolling towards a BYU Miami ACC championship game, and I'm not sure that Miami wants any part of those Mustangs, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, SMU and Miami in a championship game is going to be a heck of a football game. And listen, Pitt's got a rebound this week, but let's not forget, Pitt only has one overall loss, not just a conference loss.
Right.
So if Pitt were to finish this thing out and get back on track, who knows what type of wrench that they throw, into the equation. But I think that everybody going into their matchup with SMU has this notion in their mind that, well, this is just a group of 5 team that's moving up to the Power 5. And they don't take them all that seriously. And everybody's done it, and everybody's failed to respond. And SMU has been the winner in every single one of their scenarios. Now, they don't play Miami. They don't play Clemson. But I think SMU is really good. I've seen them 4 times. Do I think they're elite? No. Do I think that they are more than worthy of being in consideration for a college football playoff berth? Absolutely.
Yeah. Always a pleasure. Thom Luginbill has been our guest. You get, who do you have this week? You have Virginia and somebody, right? Who do you got?
Yeah, Virginia at Pitt. So we'll see if
Pitt. You
rebound.
get to see Pitt again. Yes,
Yeah.
if Pitt bounce back. All right, man. Appreciate you as always. Great stuff.
Thank you, bud.
All right, thank you. Thom Luginbill. All right, we're going to break. We will come back, wrap up hour number 1, set you up for hour number 2 next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Hey, Huntsville. Looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
It all comes back to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977ESPN.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out across the Tennessee Valley, but it does appear the vast majority of us are going to be dry. We are once again going to be on the warmer end of the spectrum. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s, only dropping into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight. Once again, a partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon. Slightly better opportunity for rain, but otherwise it is once again going to be warm across the area. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Recap Show, presented by Lawler's Barbecue.
The tackle, Williams, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 2 electric early
on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
So I'm a rebel and rogue, and I'm always on the run. With a fire inside, I ain't ever gonna die. I'm a locked and loaded gun. when the match is striking the gasoline lights.
Did you know that thousands of area residents have received world-class care from the Valley's most trusted and experienced group of orthopedic surgeons and medical specialists? Who is that? Well, that's TOC. You know that. If you have an orthopedic problem and are considering professional care, TOC is the only logical choice with their 13 locations throughout the Tennessee Valley, including Fayetteville, for those of you listening in South Central Tennessee. If you have an orthopedic problem or considering professional care, TOC can take care of you, whether it was work-related or sports-related. They've got you covered. You need the best care, the best physicians, the best facility to get you back in the game. Stay in the game with TOC. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we will be joined by Kennington Lloyd Smith, who I have threatened that I am going to write the owners of The Athletic, or the editors of The Athletic anyway, because the owners are the New York Times, and order them to make Kennington Lloyd Smith be the one to explain the tiebreaker in the SEC. We are looking at a scenario where there could be 6 SEC teams finish at 6-2. Whoever loses the Texas A&M game, possibly. Now, these things generally would work themselves out. In other words, if Georgia goes into Oxford and beats Ole Miss, that eliminates Ole Miss from contention for everything. But if Ole Miss beats Georgia, they're both going to end up 6-2 in the league. If Alabama beats LSU, they're both going to end up 6-2 in the league. The loser of the Texas A&M game is going to be 6-2. And when Georgia beats Tennessee, Tennessee's going to be 6-2. It's out of control. It's nuts. And none of those teams want to go to Atlanta. They just soon hang out and wait to see if they get in the playoff. Kennington Lloyd Smith is next. I'm Thom Abraham. Back with more right after this.
Thom Luginbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well to try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi, breaking NFL news. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan today said quarterback Dak Prescott will likely go on injured reserve with his hamstring injury. That would keep him out at least 4 games. Jones also said they won't be sellers on this trade deadline day. To that point, Dallas acquiring receiver Jonathan Mingo and a 7th-round pick from the Panthers for a 4th-rounder. Lions got some of the defensive end depth they've been seeking since Aiden Hutchinson suffered a leg injury last month, acquiring veteran defensive end Zadarius Smith and a 2026 seventh-round pick from the Browns for a 2025 fifth-rounder and a 2026 sixth-rounder. Bengals acquired Bears running back Khalil Herbert for a 2025 seventh-round pick. He does project to have a big role with Cincinnati, with a timetable for Zach Moss's return from a neck injury unclear at this point.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that. It means your alumni network includes the state, the country, and beyond. It means your school ring doubles as your resume. And yeah, you better believe it means more titles, like doctor, CEO, and your honor. Because this is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be part of the Southeastern Conference? That yours is the only conference with its own chant? Well, yes, but it means more than that. It means a study abroad program that might include reforestation in a mangrove swamp in Australia. It means finding your calling, your future spouse, your startup's co-founders, and of course, grilling tongs that play your fight song. This is the SEC, and here, it just means more.
I wanna thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog,
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Dale McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back, hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. So glad that you are with us on this monumental Tuesday. It's a huge Tuesday. Look, the NFL trade deadline is today. MLB free agency is open. The college football playoff iteration is coming out. The first blush of that tonight. We're going to pick the winner of, or the leader of the free world. It's pretty much in that order, right? I mean, I would think that, I don't know, maybe not. Joining us now to talk about Alabama and LSU, the guy that is in charge of explaining the tiebreaker in the SEC, now that we know that potentially 6 teams are going to be 6-2 in the SEC this year. It's Kennington Lloyd Smith from The Athletic. He is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Kenny, welcome in. How are you?
Good. How are you?
So I saw that article. It said that after Ole Miss beats Georgia and Georgia beats Tennessee and Alabama beats LSU, that the loser of the Texas A&M game and Georgia and Ole Miss and Tennessee and Alabama and LSU are all going to be 6-2 in the league. And you're the one that's going to explain to us who gets to go to Atlanta to play the winner of the Texas A&M game. Is that true or what?
I don't know who told you. Everything up until the point where you said, I'm going to explain it, that was it. Then we started to kind of veer off a little bit. I don't know who told you that other part. But yeah, all the 6-2, I was with you.
It's getting, crazier. I mean, now that A&M lost to South Carolina, it gets even nuttier because, if they lose to Texas, now they're also 6-2, and it's going to be a free-for-all. And the funny thing about it is, and it's very possible Alabama could beat LSU. They're a small favorite in that game. Very possible Ole Miss beats Georgia. They're a small favorite. Georgia's a small favorite, 2-point favorite. over Ole Miss. Ole Miss can win that game if Georgia plays like they did against Florida. Ole Miss liable to win that game, and then Georgia will turn around and beat Tennessee. So we are steamrolling towards potentially 6-2 teams in the SEC. Only one of which will go play the winner of that Texas A&M game. And I don't know that any of them want to. I think all the rest of them would say, you know what, we're other than LSU, which would be 9-3 and would have one shot at the playoff by going and winning in Atlanta. And I don't think they would win any of the tiebreakers. But you'd have all these 10-2 SEC teams, and they're like, yeah, no, we're good. We don't need to go play, in the SEC championship game. We'll see what the playoff says about us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you think about it, like, obviously the bye, that's something that will probably take a little time to quantify how important that first round bye is. But if you're sitting there and it's like, okay, we can go play this extra game, get beat up even further, probably maybe lose, get a third loss, or we can just sit back at 10-2 and see where our chances fall with the committee and rest for a week, they probably would take the second option.
Yeah, probably would. I tell you what, let's reconnect with Kenny. We've got all kinds of noise coming in on Kenny's line there. I think where he's being tapped by Brian Kelly and LSU. So we're gonna recall him right now and see if we can't get a cleaner signal, because it sounded like Morse code or something was coming in. It might have been Joe Hunk, letting us know that he's not going to get back from Hazel Green in time to help with the rest of the show. Could happen that way. I'm not sure. Joe, by the way, is in Hazel Green trying to vote in the election, and we have got John in here mixing the show today, doing an excellent job. It's been weeks and weeks since John mixed the show, but we'll see if this is any better with Kenny now. All right, Kenny, sounds cleaner now. We had something, I think Brian Kelly had tapped into your phone there, and they were trying to figure out what you were going to say about the game this week. Oh, we lost him. All right, maybe that's him calling in. No. We'll see if we can't get him. We'll see if we can get him back on there. I think we had lost Kenny there for a moment. Here, I'm sitting here singing the praises of Captain Cool, mixing the show, and then all of a sudden we're having a phone issue, which I don't think is his issue at all. But we'll see if he's there now. Kenny, are you there? No, he's not there yet. All right, we're working on getting Kenny back in here. Look, is there a possibility for other things to cause chaos? Sure. But when you look at some of these other games, I mean, Mississippi State's not going to beat Tennessee at Tennessee. That's not going to happen. Tennessee's going to blow them off the map. The Gators with a third-string quarterback are not going to do anything with Texas. That's not going to happen. A fascinating game, in Nashville between South Carolina and Vanderbilt. That's going to be an interesting game. 5-3, South Carolina, 6-3, Vandy. That'll be interesting. Let's see if we got Kenny back. Kenny, I think Brian Kelly's messing with your phone, trying to tap in, see what you got to say about the game this week.
Yeah, he knows that I know too much ball.
Yeah,
so he's trying to hack into my phone so he can keep the information from spreading to the masses. You never know who could hear this.
You never know. That's exactly right, and a much cleaner signal now that we have with you. So, so we go to this game coming up on Saturday night, and what's fascinating about it is a number of things. One, LSU coming off of that loss to Texas A&M, we were ready to sing the praises of LSU and say they stubbed their toe against USC in week 1, but Garrett Nussmeier taking over as the starting quarterback, and it takes a minute to get into your groove. And then they go to Texas A&M and get wrecked, and Texas A&M then goes and gets wrecked by South Carolina. So I don't know what to think of LSU. In Alabama, this is their second really true road game environment. I don't think Alabama takes the ball if they win the toss. Well, I don't know. What do you think?
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But it will be interesting because they had so many pre-snap penalties and issues, in that game against Tennessee at Neyland Stadium. So it's going to be interesting to see how they've grown from there.
Nah, most definitely. It is going to be interesting. It's really the key to the game is what Alabama team is going to show up. Are they going to be composed? Are they going to be under control? Are they going to play undisciplined? Because as we saw against Tennessee, you go on the road, you start to be undisciplined, especially early in the game. The momentum swings in a completely different direction. You already don't have the momentum because you're on the road. And then when you have self-inflicted errors, it just kind of snowballs. So I want to see if Alabama's kind of rectified those mistakes, especially in an atmosphere that's probably going to be more hostile than the one that they saw in Knoxville.
Yeah, I think it would be more hostile, if not as it might be about the same in terms of the decibel. You get to a certain point, you can't hear anyway. One of the big keys to the game is going to be taking care of Jalen Milroe, who has this bye to kind of get a little bit healthier. If he's been dinged up and nicked up a little bit, he can get a little bit healthier. But the fact of the matter is, they're going up against an LSU defense that averages 3.5 sacks a game, which is good for 6th in the entire country, against an Alabama offensive line that's given up way too many sacks. So it seems to me that how they mitigate that is going to be one of the keys to this game.
Yeah, I mean, on both sides. You think about Garrett Nussmeier, how few he's been touched, and how good Alabama's pass rush has been in recent weeks, especially with just sending 4. So whoever's going to be able to affect the quarterback the most is going to have a huge advantage in this game. You think about it from the Alabama side, there's really all eyes on Elijah Pritchett. He is kind of the one. If you could say there is a singular weak link on the offensive line, it would probably just be him with the amount of pressures that he's given up this season relative to everyone else. So are they going to be able to kind of establish his confidence early, get something established in that regard so it's a buttoned-up operation? Because LSU is going to attack the right side of Bama's line. So whichever group is going to be able to establish pressure the most is going to be in a good position.
Which gets us to Alabama's running game. And, if they can get that going early on and get that established a little bit, it'll go a long ways towards taking a little bit of starch out of that defense. Because if they just tee off and start coming after Milroe, that's when you can get a gash maybe and do something against a rush defense that allows 130 yards a game on the ground. So they have shown some kind of vulnerability LSU has, in their run defense.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, something that Brian Kelly has not shied away from talking about recently is their inability to stop the quarterback run. So be interesting to see the balance of Jalen Milroe versus Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. I thought they found some answers against Missouri running the ball with the running backs. I thought they started to establish a little bit of an identity there, which was good to see. So to your point, being able to run the ball, to keep that home crowd off you, to be able to keep that pass rush off of you, and then also using the run game to maybe set up some stuff in the quick pass game, using some motion, some screen plays, things that are going to be able to get the ball out of Jalen Milroe's hands quickly and into playmakers' hands so they can stay ahead of the chain. That's going to be a huge part of Saturday.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, LSU is kind of one-dimensional. I mean, they do not run the ball well at all. 115 yards a game, 111th in the country, but they throw it very well, 6th in the country in terms of passing. So, Alabama does have a lot of balance, even though it doesn't feel like they do, because it feels like they're, dropping back the pass all the time. But really, in reality, they are a fairly balanced team, according to the numbers, where LSU not so much, very much top-heavy when it comes to passing.
Yeah, and that's going to be, another big part of this game is Alabama going to be able to just keep LSU in those, must-pass down situations? And the thing about LSU being able to not run the ball as well as Alabama to have a quick pass game, they're going to put pressure on Bama's defenders to tackle in space and to get their ball carriers on the ground, which is something that Alabama's had struggles with this year, is the missed tackles. So, LSU is going to put the ball in space and it's going to be, that kind of game. Alabama's linebackers and secondary are really going to have to do a really good job of tackling, rallying to the ball, and not allowing a lot of yards after catch. And then from the same vantage point, it was kind of funny listening to Kane Womack. He said in a very, very nice way that Garrett Nussmeier is turnover prone. He was like, he's kind of like Brett Favre. He's going to put it in a dangerous spot and he's going to hit, but sometimes, you have to live with the good and the bad. It's like, they know that they're going to have opportunity to take the ball away in this game. So they're going to have to capitalize on those opportunities as well. It's going to be a huge part of it.
Kennington, Lloyd Smith with us here from The Athletic, talking about Alabama and LSU. And look, for Alabama, this is an elimination game all the way across the board. I mean, the loser of this game is out of the national picture. LSU would be 3-2 in the league with an outside chance through all those tiebreakers to still make it to Atlanta. But an LSU win, not only do they move to 7-2, but 4-1 in the league, and they set themselves up with an excellent chance to make it to the SEC championship game. So even though they had that horrific loss at Texas A&M, the way the season is unfolding, LSU still has an excellent opportunity here. They get through Alabama to set themselves up for a run to Atlanta.
Yeah, it could be LSU and Texas A&M again.
Yeah.
If both of those teams win out, that's who the championship is going to be. I think I would prefer the chaos scenario. So I could, put some of these people to work on the tiebreakers because I'm not going to do it. But I want to see as much drama as possible towards the finish line. But if it's clean, I'm sure that would make the playoff committee's lives a lot easier.
What do you think, speaking of drama, what do you think we're going to see tonight? I'm not talking about the presidential election. I'm talking about the college football playoff poll. I'm reached out there and took a guess at what I think is going to happen, and I put 2 SEC teams in the top 4, but it won't be that way in the bracket because only the conference champions are going to have those buys in the bracket. But I've got it: Oregon, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas. I think that's the way 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to go, and it's going to get a little hairy at 5 because how is the committee going to view Miami? They've played nobody and they've beaten them all. I think Tennessee is still going to be reckoned with, and I think Alabama could be as high as 8, where they're, I think, at 11 right now in the coaches and in the AP. I could see Alabama landing around 8 because of the strength of their schedule.
Yeah, definitely. When I did my playoff projections, I didn't even rank them as like the 12 best. I did it as if it was going to be like, as if they were going to rank them by conference champions. So if they do just rank them by the 12 best, that would be a surprise to me or new to me. I didn't know that they were doing it.
Oh, that's what they're going to do. They're going to just give you 1 through 25. Yeah, they're not giving you a bracket. They're giving you 1 through 25, and then the bracket will fall into place after that. Say, this is what the bracket would look like. So, yeah, that's all they're giving us tonight is 1 through 25. They could have 5 SEC teams in the top 6, if they wanted to go that way.
If I'm getting crushed on The Athletic in the comments right now, then I understand why. Because I'm sure my bracket looks crazy compared to everybody else who just did it 1 through 12. But my 12 playoff teams just in general right now are Oregon, Miami, Georgia, BYU, Ohio State, Indiana, Notre Dame, Texas, Penn State, Tennessee, Alabama, and Boise State. If we're talking about the biggest at-large spot, Ohio State would be my 5 seed and Indiana would be my 6 seed.
Ohio State is my 5 seed and Texas is my 6. I've got Oregon, Georgia, Miami, and BYU as the 4 teams that will get the buys in the first round, and then I have Ohio State as the 5 and Texas as the 6 on mine.
You want to know the crazy part about that is that Vanderbilt is easily Texas's best win.
Isn't that crazy?
It's like not even close either.
That is nuts.
Probably their only good win. Can't even say best win. It's like probably their only like real win. Michigan is probably second, them or Oklahoma. But that just goes to show what type of year this is good.
Texas's strength of schedule is 49 right now. And to put that in perspective, Alabama's is 3, Georgia's is 5, and South Carolina is 2. And that's why when you look at things like the Sagarin or the FPI, South Carolina at a 5-3 record is thought very favorably. South Carolina is number 13 in the Sagarin ratings because they've played such a difficult schedule, and they're 2-3 against top 30 teams. And they got the second most difficult schedule in the country. So that's why I think tonight's going to be interesting. I think some teams will be ranked lower than they are in a poll. I think BYU will be a little bit lower. Boise State will be a little bit lower because I think they'll be, and I think Alabama will be a little bit higher, and I think Tennessee will be a little bit higher because I think that, and I think Miami's going to be a little bit lower because I think that there's going to be respect, for the schedules, and that counts for something. And Ole Miss is the wild card in all of this as well. Ole Miss is either going to be done by Saturday night, by the time the Alabama game kicks off, or Ole Miss is going to be right in the thick of things. It doesn't eliminate Georgia. If Ole Miss beats Georgia, Georgia still has that win over Texas. It doesn't eliminate Georgia because Georgia can still go 10-2, and they're not leaving a 10-2 Georgia Bulldog team out of the playoff. But it would eliminate Ole Miss.
Georgia. Right. Well, 10-2 Georgia at that point would have a win over Tennessee, so that kind of does balance things out. That Clemson win doesn't look very good, so they need something else to add to that, to add to their resume.
Well, it doesn't look as good. I mean, they're still a 6-2 team. I mean, they're not it's not like now LSU, that win over USC doesn't look good. I mean, the USC is falling off. They're like 4-5. They're falling off the face of the year. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how they rank the teams and how high Alabama is. That was interesting that you put them at number 8. I think maybe this isn't a conversation that we've had to have yet because we haven't had rankings. But Alabama's like, are they the best 2-loss team in the country? I know Tennessee beat them.
Oh, by far.
But you look at the metrics of everything, of schedule, best win, total offense, total defense, like actual measurements on the field, Alabama's going to be in a pretty good spot, I think. And I think that might surprise some people tonight.
Yeah, because
as well, how highly they're thought of.
Well, with the number 3 schedule in the country, they're 3-1. They're the only team in the entire country that's played 4 top 30 teams, and they're 3-1 in those games. Vanderbilt now looks a little bit more, they are 5-3. I mean, what Vanderbilt does with South Carolina will be very interesting there. So now that doesn't look like the absolute nightmare that it was at the time that it happened. So Alabama right now, according to Sagarin, Alabama's number 5, and according to ESPN's FPI rankings, Alabama is number 3. So strength of schedule, means a lot in that. But I have them at number 8 in this poll. But if you then take it and break it down in terms of a bracket, I would have them at 9 in the bracket because of the fact that, teams that are going to get pushed out of the top 4, because you're only going to take conference champs there, in the top 4. So I have Alabama as the 9, and I have them playing at Penn State. I have Penn State as the 8 and Alabama as the 9, and Alabama would play at Penn State in the playoffs. So that's the way I got them shaping up right now. And, of course, they got to win this week to do that. If they win this week, they got a pretty good path to 10-2. Penn State doesn't play anybody. Penn State's going to be 11-1. They got nothing the rest of the way. They never beat Ohio State, but they got nothing left the rest of the way. But I have Alabama and Penn State in the first round based on where they're at right now.
Yeah, that's well, the first thing that popped up in my mind was Penn State would be a terrible trip. Like, just as far as just the logistics of trying to get to and from Happy Valley
on December 20th in the snow.
Yeah, right. Not a great proposition, but it was kind of interesting as you're talking about Penn State. It's it felt bad that they lost to Ohio State, obviously in the manner that they did, but did anything really change about their season other than they can't win the Big Ten? They're still going to be a top team in the playoffs. They're still going to host a playoff game if they win out. It's the loss sucked, but at least it's not like in past years where your season is over by losing the Ohio State game.
Yeah, and then they'll lose to Alabama because James Franklin, and I love James Franklin. We became friends when he was in Nashville, but James Franklin 1-10 against Ohio State. I think it was what I see yesterday. It was 3-18 against top 10 teams. He just cannot win a big game. Just can't do it.
Right.
You just can't do it. I don't understand what it
but
is.
He can lead Penn State to the playoffs.
Yes, he can. Yeah, he can. In this era, he definitely can. Kenny Smith has been our guest. Check him out at The Athletic. He'll be doing everything but break down the tiebreakers in the SEC. Kenny, I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better than last week where you were trying to, call up The Athletic and pin that responsibility on me.
Put it on you, man.
Yeah.
6
you can
teams.
come to me for everything. You can come to me for everything but tiebreakers. I will have the tiebreakers eventually. I'm just waiting on somebody else to crack that code for me.
Do you know what the numbers? Do you know what the 6th thing on the tiebreaker list is?
Coolest jersey.
Pick names out of a hat. Literally.
Picking names out of a hat. Oh wow.
Literally, if they can't get them broken by the time they get to 6, it's a random drawing. It's just a drawing. It's like doing your fantasy football draft. They just pass a hat around and put everybody's name in there, and they just pull a name out of the hat, and then you get to go play in the conference championship game.
I'm sure SEC fan bases will react appropriately to that.
Yeah,
determining anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, be rational about that.
I told you I rolled out my idea, man. I think this is a bad idea. This one conference with this many teams. I would go with 4 4-team divisions. 4 4-team divisions, and I would go with 8 conference games and 3 non-conference games. That's an 11-game schedule, and then I would have a playoff in the SEC. I'd have the 4 teams that won those 4 divisions. That would be their 9th conference game, and then for the winners of that, obviously playing the SEC championship game, just like we do now. And then the 12 teams that did not win their division, those 12 teams would be paired off, and they would play their 9th SEC game. As well. And I don't want to hear about how, we wouldn't know who we're playing. It doesn't matter. You don't know who you're playing when you're going to the SEC championship game. You don't know who you're playing in the playoffs. So what? So you go. But if we had 4 divisions and you win your way in, it's like a half of NFL. It's like the AFC. You got 3 great conferences in the country: the AFC, the NFC, and the SEC. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
All right, man. Appreciate you as always.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. I'll write that article for the Pretty athletic. All right, when we return, we'll find out if, in fact, Jumpin' Joe Hunk can make it back from Hazel Green in his voting. See if he's made it back yet. Over under on when he would get back, around 1:30. We'll see if he's made it yet. Right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. Are you ready to enjoy another great football season with us here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill? Our special big game headquarters menu includes fan favorites such as our gooey char-grilled chicken and chips, Victory Caesar salad with your choice of char-grilled chicken, grilled whitefish, or shrimp. And you'll definitely want to tackle our gooey char-grilled chicken sandwich with a fresh mojo marinated boneless chicken breast topped with a Blanco cheese and bacon served with curly fries. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, legendary fun and legendary food.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
And welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by Owen Home Appliance. With the holiday season just around the corner, when you go to Owen Home Appliance Center now, you can buy a complete Frigidaire kitchen. And get this, when you buy the fridge, the range, and the microwave, you get the dishwasher free. And if you need a commercial kitchen, the Owen Home Appliance folks, they have brands like Viking and Mealy and KitchenAid and Z-Line and Cafe. Quality products, quality serving, pricing, quality service. That's the name of the game for Mike Owen and his team at Owen Home Appliance Center. All right, let's go over to the little glass room and see who's running the show now. Has or has not Jumpin' Joe Hunk made it back by 1:30?
Sup? I told you it'd only be an hour. I told you guys.
That's shocking. So how long were you actually in line? It must have only taken you 15, 20 minutes in
I was
the line.
I was only in line for about 2 minutes, and that was just because of them only having.
Oh.
No, I did get a few good weird looks from some of our elderly as I was walking through, but no, I was maybe in and out in 5 minutes.
Really?
In and out.
What'd you do? Go to lunch or something? Or where the hell you been?
No, and this is the sad thing with the ballot for Madison County. Of the 30 things that you can fill out and vote on, about 28 of them, there's only one person running. So it's not like you got to make a decision. It's either vote for that person or do a write-in candidate. So you're just
are you making out a ballot it's not an electronic thing. You're making out a paper ballot, and it's like taking a test, like taking the SAT test. You got to lose a number 2 black pencil and
you had to
shade it in.
And it shows you right beforehand, hey, this is what you got to do. No, they rip up, they give you a receipt. You go pick up your ballot. Once you pick up your ballot, you got to go find a table spot and vote there. Yeah.
And why is it that we can't do this on any kind of electronic device or computer or something?
I don't know.
In this day and age, why was we were like, do they have a spot where you can like write in? You say, hey, I want Thom Abraham to be president.
Yes,
you write him in?
We can fill out our taxes online.
Yeah.
I can file for unemployment like we did during COVID online with the IRS, like go to .gov or whatever. I can do all of that. Yet they don't let us
get my insurance, health insurance online.
Health insurance, every bit of that is done online. Yet this has to be done in person.
Well, and if they're worried about shenanigans, aren't there more potential for shenanigans with this paper product? With this paper,
yes.
Doing the thing. You had the hanging chads years ago in Florida, and so you put it in an actual box. Is it like a prize box? You put it in, or what?
It's like an electric box.
Oh, you put it in there, and it sucks it in, and it does the thing.
And it double checks that everything is good to go, and it lets you know that you're good. So, like in my particular box, I think I was the 906th person to vote.
So it gives you back a receipt then that says this is how you voted?
No, it just says thank you. Here's your sticker.
So I can put action on a game over the online with an app. I can't have a voting app.
Yeah, you can bet millions of dollars simply by double clicking a few buttons on your phone.
Right.
Yet you can't vote for the president of the United States on your phone.
And then do they have the option? So they remember back in the day they had voting machines. Remember you pull a lever and it would be like you click the different things. But then you could, like, if you wanted to vote Republican, there was one lever. You could just click that lever and it would pick everybody on the red.
Yes.
You just do that. Do
Same
they have
thing.
that option?
At the very top of the sheet, you can vote all
red and that's it.
That's it. You can go straight ballot. You could literally grab the sheet of paper, fill that bubble in, and walk right up if you wanted to.
I always thought that it would be fascinating if we had elections without party affiliates on the deal. What if people just voted for people instead of just voting your party? Then you'd have to actually know what people are all about. You know what I mean? Instead of I'm not voting for any Republican. See, Republican and Democrat have become such vilified words to the other side. That's like Democrat, socialist, Democrat, communist, Republican, Nazi. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what's happened. They become such the words Democrat and Republican have been so vilified. Republican, Nazi, Democrat, communist. I mean, they ought to not put the party affiliation on the thing. You just vote for people. And just vote for the people and see how that works out.
And there are people's and votes and their names on this ballot that I have no clue of. I've never known. And I'll look at it and I'll just go,
do you have to vote?
Yeah. It even says at the top, must vote, must circle a bubble or must fill in a bubble, things like that.
Somebody if you're totally uninformed on something.
Clue.
Now, see, that's wrong. Okay. So they're forcing you to vote in something where you don't know the two participants. That's like when I vote for the SEC preseason SEC team.
You got to name 16 offensive linemen.
16 offensive linemen, and I only know 4 of them. I don't want to just pick names.
Yeah.
So that is so wrong.
Yeah, one of them's on there. I don't even there was some that was Republican and Libertarian. I'm just going, I don't even know what a Libertarian is. I don't even know.
That's the problem with our voting system. We got people voting, even for president. They don't know what they stand for.
No.
They just know, hey, I got to either vote for the communist or I got to vote for the Nazi. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, what are you kidding? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and they don't even, and they still had a few of the little stands that had the little blue partitions up that you could vote in, but majority of it was just, hey, we just have these big long tables like we have at the remote. Hey, we sit down on this table, you get 16 people on the table just voting shoulder to shoulder.
The leader of the free world.
And look, I think that it should still be an option. If you want to go in person, then you should have these places you could. But if you can do it right there on your laptop at 7 a.m. and you could just click. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, but what if you also had this? So then they have all the peoples on there. And then what you could do is if it says Johnny Blue and Billy Black, right? You could then click on their name and it would say like what their platform is.
Just like we do with fantasy football.
Right. This guy, this is his stats. Give me his stats.
So far this year, he's voted yes on this.
Right. This guy is this. This guy stands for this. This guy stands for that. Now vote.
Thank you.
Not go to with a piece of paper and vote for some name because you like the guy. Oh, I don't like that guy's name. He sounds German.
Oh, there were a few names I looked at and I went, no, I don't care what party you're with. I'm not voting. I'm going to go with this guy.
Ali Hobby Bibi.
I don't really even know who you are. I'm voting for this person. No, yes, like that would be so much more informed than it would. We have more people that are informed about their March Madness brackets than they are with what? Because why? When you go online, you can click on the team. It gives you information, lets you know everything about the team that you may need to know as a little beginner's guide, little cliff notes of everything.
You know, I didn't think that we would hear from LSU Lynch this week, but it's Tuesday and he's already jumping in here. So let's get him in here before the break. LSU Lynch, welcome in. How are you? Oh, he's not?
All right,
there he is.
look here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I don't know. Look here. I don't know what happened, to the grasshopper. Either one of y'all hit a button, but it's been staticky. It was not the. Don't blame it on that last caller there. But look here. Let me tell you my voting experience today. This really happened. I live in a 5 Point. I go down. I vote at the Andrew Jackson Baptist Way. You hear me?
Yeah.
Are you familiar?
I am.
Okay. And they moved it to their, basically their gym. Okay. Here's what happened was it was a line. I got down there at 7 o'clock this morning. I'm dressed to the kill. We got LSU and the American flag going on. We talking, cutting up. They only had one screener. You understand what a screener is?
Yeah.
That's where your ballot goes in. Okay. Yeah. It was a hot mess. So we're standing in line, and it is what it is. This is a historic day, especially for the leader of the free world. Okay. I'll get 25 deep. The scanner done got jammed. I've never seen. I've been voting since I'm 18. Okay, I'm 54 years old. I've never seen it get jammed, Tom. Never.
Did you used to vote with the levers? Did you used to vote with the big lever voting machine where you pull a lever and it registers?
Well, I voted. I didn't vote. The first time I voted was when I was in the military, so that was an absentee vote.
Yeah.
But I remember the levers. But anyway, I've never seen anything get jammed because usually when you vote, I vote and I vote a lot. Usually, man, over here I'm like 47, 49, 52. You hear me?
Yeah.
What happened was what I'm getting at, my point is, I know you got to go. It's a lot of new voters here. There was these idiots. They done told them, hey, you go, like you said, like Joe said, they had the long tables out. We're used to like the blue booths and everything. You can mark all Republican or all Democrat. It ain't that damn hard. You hear me?
Yeah, but do you want to do that? I mean, do you want to? Don't you on the lower ticket on the lower level things? Don't you want to know something about the people that you're voting for, just in case?
But I do. I'm 54 years old. But what happened was I was 25 deep. Somebody had folded the ballot up and stuck it in the damn machine.
Oh, they want everybody to see their picks.
No, they were dumbass.
Yeah. But that's what they did. They're thinking it's like when I told my daddy back in 1983 when we got a fax machine and he says, don't be sending me anything sensitive over that fax machine. I said, don't worry, Dad. I'll put it in an envelope before I fax it to you if it's sensitive. And he's like, okay. Like, oh, damn, good man.
But yeah, somebody, the screener, it's like, okay, the screener is supposed to catch the guy or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't fold the ballot up. It goes all the way in there. And it was just amazing that happened. But like I said, it was also amazing. There was a bunch of new voters out there. They didn't know what they were doing. But
Did you help them decide how to vote? Did you tell them which way to go?
Look here, man. I had the LSU and the American flag. I was already getting pictures made.
They knew who you were. Yeah.
Yeah. But look here.
Yeah.
This ain't going to be the only time. Look here, I'm going to tell you this before I hang up. The Friday show was amazing because we was joking on your happy ass. Go LSU, Yankee, Syracuse.
I mean, he's not wrong.
What's the Yankee series? So I was the topic on
Yeah,
Friday?
well, we
Bust
talked
my
about
chops?
something. I forgot what it was, but at some point in time, I threw out every one of your sponsors all in one sentence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, so that's what it was about how, if Thom was bringing the show back, it'd be like Woody Anderson Ford. The only place I've been going is I've been in the Tennessee Valley. But if it's going to be hot, if you're going to need something to go out to, Owen Home Appliances is where you need to. I literally went through the entire spill on there. See, so
what if you get hurt? Then
well,
what do you do?
and that's the other thing. See, like if you get hurt and you go to a football game tonight, now we don't want you to get hurt.
Right.
But if you do get hurt, TOC is going to be open late tonight.
Right.
See,
They'll
so
take care of you.
yeah, absolutely. So if you get hurt at home, getting your Owen Home Appliances to where you need it to be, then you can go to TOC.
Yeah.
See,
yeah. And what if you want one of them banners like it's behind you up there on that thing there?
Minuteman Press
That's
is going
right.
to get where if you are a team that just won the region and you need to throw a banner up somewhere around your football field, Minuteman Press can get it to you before Friday night's game.
There you go.
See?
There you go. You got them all, except for the home buyer.
No, yeah,
home buyer. The home
takes a
buyer, it's North Alabama Mortgage or nothing with the home buyer.
But once you get the home, then
Yeah.
you go to Owen Home Appliances, and
Right.
and to get there, you go to Woody Anderson Ford and get you a vehicle to take you.
Right.
There. Yeah. See,
And don't forget, you can refinance when the rates come down.
100%.
That's because the rates will come down. Depending on what happens today, the rates could come down tomorrow. We'll see how that all works out. All right, we get a break. We will come back with more of this madness next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This action update is brought to you by GBank. Earn cashback rewards on every eligible gaming transaction. VSiN.com/GBank.
The men's college basketball season is underway. Heading into the season, Ohio State's the favorite to win the national title at plus 325, Georgia plus 400. Same for Oregon, Texas at plus 500, Miami plus 1,200, the Alabama Crimson Tide plus 1,800, Tennessee plus 2,000, Penn State plus 2,200. Monday Night Football in overtime, the Chiefs outlasted the Buccaneers. 30-24 the final in overtime. Kansas City's 8-0. They remain the clear favorite to win their third straight Super Bowl. Plus 375 with Detroit plus 450 right behind them. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Tom Luginbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go higher and go Army. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out across the Tennessee Valley, but it does appear the vast majority of us are going to be dry. We are once again going to be on the warmer end of the spectrum. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s, only dropping into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight. Once again, a partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon. Slightly better opportunity for rain, but otherwise it is once again going to be warm across the area. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Oh, Paul coming up in about 15 minutes. Now, we understand there's been some technical difficulty with our signal that some of you may be hearing. Our engineer reported this morning that he was heading out to the tower, so I wonder if he's been doing something there. He might have had to do something to create that, but sorry about that has happened if you have experienced that. But the app is clean as a whistle, and we always remind you that you can snag the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. We're probably clean as a whistle in Winchester, on ESPN Winchester on their signal, because they take us via the IP, and then boom, they send it out over their signal that way as well. All right, phone lines are open, 256-5764-97.7. We'll get you into the show again tonight when that first iteration comes out. All of the polls, they're going to give us 1 through 25. It's just a poll. They're not giving us a bracket. They're giving us 1 through 25. Now, the talking heads will then break that down into a bracket, which is what I have done, okay? And, so you can take that for what it is. We know who won't be in the bracket. Wolverines. But Wolverine Dan will be. If there was an NFL bracket, his team will be in there. Wolverine Dan, welcome in. How are you?
Yeah, I agree, Tom. We might, and I'm doing this, throwing you a softball, just to show you how good faith I am on this radio station, because I could get bombarded with this. But you know what? I'm not that guy. I'm a guy that just tells it like it is. I think the losses that we have this year, and being that we are the defending national champion, I think we're the first team that's really laid a flop or laid an egg the year after the national championship.
That's an interesting thing. I'd have to go back and have put the crack research team on that and see what's the worst season after winning a national championship that a team could have. What's your record right now? What are you at right now?
I think we're 5-4.
5-4 after the loss to Oregon. This is going to be fascinating this week against Indiana, because Indiana hasn't really played anybody yet. So it's going to be fascinating to see, can you do anything at all with Indiana? You'll beat Northwestern. That would be, if you lose to Northwestern, you're liable to be 6-6.
Yeah. Well, that'll get me to the Music City Bowl. So.
No, it won't.
Anyway,
6-6 won't get you a Music City Bowl. I can guarantee you that.
We'll see, because we have a lot of money. And when you've got teams traveling, a lot of money, things change. Okay. With that said, that I stepped out there, for your listeners, I didn't have to do that, Tom, but I did that because I'm a fair sports person. All right. I might be myopic and love my teams, but you know what? Facts are stubborn things. And if we are, I'll take it. But you know why? Because I won a national championship. All right, in my lifetime, actually 2 in my lifetime. And the bottom line is
one and a half.
the Lions are going to get their Super Bowl.
One and a half.
There's one more reason why I said that, because I feel real good, Tom.
1.5. Because
I waited almost 50 minutes in line. They went all the way out to the street, my man.
Yeah.
Great turnout. As of right now, the Covington Presbyterian Church has over 1,500 votes already since this morning. They're going to eclipse probably 3,000 to 4,000, okay? And the bottom line is that means my man coming back and cleaning the garbage that they've been spewing and ruining our country. Stop it. We have a man that's going to clean house.
You think he'll drive the garbage truck? Will he drive the garbage truck like he was the other day?
I hope he does.
He drive out of the polling place with the garbage truck.
Tom, Ben Carson.
Love that guy.
Was a great candidate.
Love that guy.
I could care less what the color is. All I know is that who's been running this freaking country is running it into the ground, and that's the reason why I'm going with somebody that actually performed when he was doing the job, Tom. You know as well as I do in your business. If you can't do your job, you're gone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, in this case, it's a different. Like I've said consistently, it's not about we're not choosing. Nobody's voting for Kamala Harris. They're not. They didn't vote for her in a primary when she ran against Biden. She get a drop out halfway through because nobody was voting for her. Nobody put her. This is all about Trump or no Trump. That's all. We're just voting Trump or no Trump. That's all. Trump could have run against. He could run against a ham sandwich. Doesn't matter. It's Trump or no Trump. That's what.
Well, promises were kept last time he led this country, and that's why I'm voting for him again, because he kept his promises. Even when the beginning of his term, he had no help from nobody. Okay, this man's a man's man. He doesn't need the job, Tom. He's a billionaire, a beautiful wife, beautiful family. Tom, he's got everything that you and I would love to have, family-wise, plus $1 billion on top of it.
Yeah, do you know he doesn't take his salary? Did you know that, Joe? He doesn't take his presidential salary.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I mean, I knew it at the end of his term, but he doesn't take the presidential salary. He just doesn't take it. I don't know what he does with it, but he doesn't take it.
Well,
all right.
Please, everybody out there, at least show up and vote, even no matter who you vote for. It's a freedom that other people have died many times over for the freedom for us to express our opinion with the vote.
But they could make it easier for us, and they could give us more information about the people. I want their stats. Everybody that's, from the top. After you get to I know about my senators, and thanks for the call, Wolverine Dan. That's a good job by you. I know about the senators, and I know about my some of the reps and things like that. But there's a lot of people's name. Joe will tell you, he was just there. There's a lot of people's name on there. We know nothing about them.
There's a few people's name. I thought they threw letters together.
Yeah, they just say, this guy's, is he really? What's he running for? Dog catcher? You need to give us some stats. And if we could do this online, we'd have stats.
So to answer your question, Wolverine Dan's questions about the worst record.
After a natty,
if you count LSU went 5-5 in 2020, but that was also the COVID season.
Year.
The last national champion to not win at least 8 games after winning the national championship was Ohio State in 1971.
Holy mackerel.
They went 6-4 after winning the national championship.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Wolverines are going to be 6-6 because they're going to lose to Indiana State and to Indiana. They're going to lose to Indiana and Ohio State, and they'll beat Northwestern. Watch them go beat Ohio State. Wouldn't that be hilarious? That would be hilarious if they went and beat Ohio State this year at the Big House. We get a break. We'll come back, wrap it up next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? It might be in a call center somewhere, maybe 100 miles away, but my phone rings in my office.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're here. We're the ones who take your call.
And get what you deserve.
You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The new Cheeseburger Bobby's on Carl T. Jones Drive in South Huntsville is focused on serving great food prepared with the absolute freshest ingredients, featuring classic hamburgers and cheeseburgers with lots of specialty options, chicken and hot dogs, even turkey burgers and veggie burgers, along with fresh cut fries, onion rings, or coleslaw. Always fresh, never frozen, except for the frozen custard. See all the delicious options at Cheeseburger Bobby's for yourself. Check out the menu and more at cheeseburgerbobbies.com. The new Cheeseburger Bobby's on Carl T. Jones Drive in South Huntsville is focused on serving great food prepared with the absolute freshest ingredients, featuring classic hamburgers and cheeseburgers with lots of specialty options, chicken and hot dogs, even turkey burgers and veggie burgers, along with fresh cut fries, onion rings, or coleslaw. Always fresh, never frozen, except for the frozen custard. See all the delicious options at Cheeseburger Bobby's for yourself. Check out the menu and more at cheeseburgerbobbies.com.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
What I want to know, Joe, is how did they get my phone number? That's what I can't wait till this is over with, so they stop texting me. Hey, do you know what the country will look like if this? Do you know what the country? And I keep hitting junk delete.
Yes,
junk delete, and I'm like, where did you get my phone number from?
You can text me, but I can't text you my answers. I can't text you my vote. It should be a two-way street here.
Well, that was what Wolverine Dan wanted to say before the end of his call there. Is he doesn't understand why on American Idol we can vote during the show and know the answer like right then and there. Whereas with the president, which is slightly more important than American Idol, it takes like sometimes a week before we can know exactly what happened. We got to go to a place. We got to scratch the little thing on the thing. We got to stick it into a machine that's jamming where LSU Lynch is at, and then you have, this is part of the reason why it takes so long. All right, here's the dirty little secret: the mail-in ballots. The mail-in ballots are not allowed to be opened until the election day. So they've got all of these, like in Pennsylvania, they have tens of thousands of mail-in ballots that came in, and they can't open those until election day, and then they got to count them manually. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's how we're determining this.
There's going to be complaints about the amount of voters that vote. And I'm not just talking about this election. I'm talking about your midterm elections, that random election in the county for sheriff, like all those types of elections. If I could just do it on my phone, I'd participate a lot more.
And then we have these people watching the monitors. You got to have the election monitors. Are they lefties? Are they righties? You don't know with the election monitors. And, are people, are they going around and having people? There has to be a way, you would think, with all the technology we have. Elon Musk, that dude just sent a rocket up into space and then had the rocket come back and land at the launch site. Right? That dude could land a rocket at the launch site. Do you think Elon Musk could put his team together and they could come up with a secure way to electronically vote? And, oh, by the way, you can click on the candidate's name and you could get the stats. You can get the information. We've been joking saying stats, but you can get his fantasy stats. You can get what his record is. What does he believe in? Is he for abortion, against abortion? Is he for guns? Is he against guns?
How many things did he put on his platform or her platform that she said that she was going to put into the Senate to be voted on? Have they done that? Have they not?
Do they show up to vote? That's a stat I want to know.
Are they in the building?
How many times have they voted on key votes, or are they never there? You know what I mean? And they're never there to make the vote. That kind of stuff. Give me some stats.
I have to have like 3 forms of identification to open up put power on at my house. Give me that, and I can do that for voting.
Yeah.
I give you 3 or 4 forms of identification that can prove that it's me, and then let me vote online.
I saw a funny meme where a cop had pulled over a guy, And the cop says, "Can I see your ID?" And the guy says, "No, sir, I'm going to vote." I'm not showing you my ID. I'm going to vote. Oh boy! All right, listen, just be calm, because in the end we're gonna have gridlock, because we always have gridlock, and gridlock is everything gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay, people. Don't go nuts tonight. Everything's gonna be okay. Somehow, some way, because God's in control anyway. So don't get crazy. All right, that's going to do it for us. Paul Feinbaum Show is next. Have a great day, everybody.
This is SportsCenter.